Often we hear martial arts teachers and self-defense instructors talk about the theory of running from an attack, and that's the best form of self-defense. And in theory, that sounds right. But in the real world, when an attacker is trying to harm you or possibly take your life, do you always have the luxury of being able to run? Now, you may be in a situation where you're cornered, where you're trapped, where you have family members or loved ones with you, and you don't have the luxury of running. You have to stand and defend yourself against that person or persons. Likewise, if you do have the opportunity to run and escape from an attack, are you certain that person or persons aren't going to hunt you down and continue with the assault? If you run from an attacker, how far can you go before you're exhausted? Could you run 100 meters, turn, and then defend yourself against one or two or more attackers? The question is this: what is your level of physical fitness? You can have the skills and the knowledge and all the certificates and all the trophies and all the recognition, but if you don't have a level of combat conditioning, then everything else is irrelevant. I'll give you an example, guys. Yesterday, I attended a circuit training in a room which is heated to 35 degrees. And after about 20 minutes, it got to around about 40 degrees. And I said to the teacher before I did the circuit, if you see me get tired, if you see me get to a point where I'm slowing down, I want you to rip it into me. I want you to motivate me, to push me to the point where I almost want to vomit. It was one of the most hardest circuits that I've ever done since I left the military. It was brutal, it was extreme, 60 minutes non-stop. But throughout that whole circuit, my mindset was, if I push myself a bit more, the day that somebody tries to harm me, be it here, in suburbia, overseas, no matter where I am, if I've got that level of conditioning, I can get through the attack. I can fight through and survive and go home to my loved ones. Because at the end of the day, that is our common goal: to survive and go home safe and go home to our loved ones. So if your level of conditioning is not at a level where it should be, then ask yourself this question: in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, can I be fitter than what I am now? Every class we do, every push-up, every sit-up, every sprint, every time I ask you to do something, I want you to push yourself harder. No matter how hard it sounds, no matter how physically ill you feel, I can promise you now, when the shit hits the fan, and for many of you, one day it will possibly happen to you. When it does happen, you want to have not only the physical skills and the mindset, but you want to have the physical, the cardio to be able to fight through and survive. Thanks, guys. Stay safe. I'll see you at class.